Rossi, and Heidi Keys. In that order. We'll do it in that order. And the first question is, there is much national discussion about what our education system needs to do to prepare our students to be successful in the 21st century. What priority do you see this issue as having in our school district? What resources and training do you believe are necessary to prepare our students for the 21st century, and how would you secure and implement them?
Well, first of all, I'd like to really fast respond. I meet with the superintendent on a weekly basis. I chair a Norwalk Facilities Community meeting once a month that goes over the budgets. And Norwalk has received over $1 million in grants for many youth programs and $500,000 in grants for the cameras that went through all our schools. I meet on a regular basis with many of the administrators from the Board of Ed. And as far as grants from Obama, all that money went to the state. The city has already received about $1.2 million for educational assistance. The rest of the grants through the state, the rest of the grants are competitive grants that you have to apply for, and they basically have to be applied for by the Board of Ed, which the city and my grants coordinator has worked with, and so we are applying for grants. And recently we received a $500,000 grant for mentoring. So I get that out of the way. The 21st century. You know, the No Child Left Behind, which was a bipartisan failure from Congress. We all know that. The bureaucracy, the nonsense that goes in, and trying to meet standards without rewarding improvement. That was one of the failures with the No Child Left Behind. They set certain standards, and if a school district is at a low level and improved, they were still below. There was no reward or no incentive for improvement. So if you constantly failed when you were improving, you had no rewards, no incentive, no additional money to continue that improvement. That was the difficulty with No Child Left Behind. We are failing in science and math. The children of China, Europe, all over, Asia, are outstripping us in math and science in particular. And that is what we're going to need. I'm already at my 2 minutes. I forgot.
I got 30 seconds.
But let me just say this. We put programs together. The bureaucracy has got to be eliminated. I cannot tell you the amount of paperwork that we have to fill out on any of these TARP funds that we get. It's this thick. My grants coordinator's eyes are crossing. By the way, first full-time grant coordinator in the history of Norwalk under this administration. We are working on it. I think we need a national program similar to what we did with NASA. I know it's a cliche when we put a man on the moon. Unless we concentrate and have the federal government assign less bureaucratic requirements and get the money to the teachers and the systems and have a fair and equal testing method. That's how we're going to do it. I don't see any other way. The funds are limited from the city and from the state.
Thank you very much.
I agree. The funds are limited from the city and the state. But I think what it really takes is someone that can work even closer with the Board of Education, even closer with the superintendent of schools, someone who will advocate consistently and continuously in the state to bring more money into our city, to advocate for more programs that can be used and can be written, grants can be written for. I have advocated for children's programs in Hartford and in our surrounding area for over 9 years now, way before I was ever a politician. And you know what? I don't like to make any excuses for not being a politician, because I'm not. I have 2 kids that went through the Norwalk school system, West Rocks, Tracy School, West Rocks, and Norwalk High School, 2 of which are in college right now, one on almost a full scholarship and one on a partial. So I do believe that the people that are on the Board of Education right now have done a great job. The data collection system that's in place, finding what each specific student's needs are, what teachers' needs may be, so they can provide professional development to these teachers. This was brought up, I think, 2 months ago by the state of Connecticut as us having turned the corner and going in the right direction with the people we have in place right now. I think October 11th in the Norwalk Hour was another article on how our CMT scores have improved. So I believe that our people that are in place right now, doesn't matter which party, the people that are in our system right now on the Board of Education are doing a great job, and they're turning the corner. Like I said, I want to work closely with the schools. I know I can't tell them what to do, but I know that's where my passion is and where my heart lies. And I also feel as though we have to continually look for funding. And from what I understood, I made a phone call the other day. We were part of a group called Connecticut Coalition and Justice to Education Funding, which makes sure we get equal funding through the ECS system. And we are $10,000 in arrears right now in dues. And that's something that troubles me greatly, since I'm an advocate for youth programming and making sure we get equal dollars for our education system.
Thank you very much. Heidi Keith?
Thank you. I think what's key on this is high priority, obviously. Professional development, we need to have the professional development keep going. As far as implementing that, having the teachers go on a regular basis, having substitutes come in while they go if it needs to be during the day, professional development. Pre-testing and post-testing, I think, is key. Seeing what our children need to know once they take the test, other issues that they need to know after, and how well they've done. Also restoring our aides. I know we look at budgets and how important that is, but it's key. I was an aide for many years in the public schools in Greenwich. They're not that different from Greenwich to Norwalk. Having that one-on-one contact with a child or a small group of children makes a major difference, especially when it comes to testing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Steve Collins?
Thank you. Well, given that we're in the 21st century now, let's talk about what we can do today to start improving children's educations. First and foremost, let's not consign kids, even if it's for a week, a month, or 2 months, to windowless interior classrooms. When schools are busting at the seams, let's order them portables when they're needed and when we know they can arrive on time for the start of school. That's first and foremost. Secondly, let's examine before and after school programming within the city. You see, it's the 21st century. Many of us are working 2 and 3 jobs. Many families are working earlier and longer in order to make ends meet. So we need to figure out how can we provide more effective, cost-effective before and after school programs. Secondly, we need to appreciate that a fundamental issue, even in the age of computers, is children need to learn to read and write. And if we examine CMT scores, which admittedly are but one criteria for evaluating children's progress, we understand that although every school is on the same curriculum, there are vast differences in the resources that are available in every school and the particular texts that are used. We need to develop a system, maybe EdSpeak calls it best practices, but how about having meetings between the feeder schools at the elementary level and their corresponding middle school? Figure out what programs are working, get the perspective of the middle school principals, and require principals to share information. There's this tremendous knowledge base, yet unless we have a strong leader, as our superintendent, mandating that type of sharing, it's not going to happen. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.